number button here. I'm going to do another art journal flip through, this time the finished journal, my large Jane journal. If you hear my baby cry, don't worry about it. That will be taken care of. Just a fair warning, or dog bark, you know, it happens. So this is the cover of my large Jane journal, and I've already learned that even though I don't like the silly plastic covers, you need one, because I kind of scratched it up. It got a little beat up. But originally I used gesso and then watercolor and acrylic and pen and everything under the sun. On my new one, I have a plastic cover on it. So here it is here. Let's see. Okay, and this page, I'm just going to talk a little about some of the pages. This was a quick lesson online. It's just watercolors, pan watercolors. This is practice for Jane Davenport's Misquoted workshop that I'm in. Well, this was flowers I just did on my own. Practicing strokes with a mermaid marker and water brush. Same thing, Misquoted, just had a little girl. So I used to use my art journals as little masterpieces, or that's what I wanted them to be, but I had a little trouble. Excuse me one second. I had a little trouble because it was so much pressure, and so now I use them what they should be used for, which is actually journaling and writing and practice. Here's my Frida one I did. These are both straight lessons from Misquoted, so I get credit for doing these, but not for the design, because it's a direct lesson. And Scott, I love this, quotes in her hair. This is just the Incredible Pen by Jane Davenport, and this is the Watercolors and Incredible Pen. This one I did on my own. I totally messed up her eyes and used a washi tape that had an eye on it and made it backwards and did all this funkiness, and that I think I've loosened up by the end of this book, because I really don't care about the perfection anymore. I like it when the eyes are wonky now. More practice for Misquoted, and also just me staging how I want backgrounds done. Again, more lessons here, and just getting to know a lot of my supplies. And this is one I did on my own. I was teaching my daughter's class of painting with scissors by Matisse, inspired stuff. So I did this as practice, and then made her to match using mermaid markers and pen. See, I like the wonky eyes. This is just more practice. I used a couple of stencils on that one. This is a lesson from Misquoted. You can tell what I was doing when I started this journal. And then I added in some quotes using the, what's her name? Joanne Sharp's style writing. This was a challenge my son did, where he picked out 5 supplies and told me to do a page. So that's what I did. Some more practice on my own. Lettering practice. And then this is Skrilla. She's come a little famous since I made her. She went a little viral, which is awesome. This was an Art Snacks challenge with just the 5 supplies from the month. And I got them afterward, before I was a subscriber. And so it's very little supplies, and I really love how it came out. And she kind of launched all of my characters now. I do a lot of them this way now. Like this one, Sugar Pie, or Sugar Plum, or something sugar. Here's some more practice over here, and these I all kind of did copying that style of Corella, that looseness and not a lot of supplies. Same with these. Again, these are not lessons or anything. They're from me, and a lot of the looseness again. This one, I straight copy from James Burke. Love you, James. Love James's art. And my husband has a beard and that kind of thing, so I wanted to try. So this is my first attempt at that, and I put some words here. And practicing abstract over here with like pastels and acrylics and everything under the sun. Oh, and somebody asked me on my YouTube if I'm worried when I put down my quotes and things, if I'm worried about spelling them wrong or that kind of thing. One trick I do is always, always, always scan them in before I add the words. Like, I don't like how this came out. I like the words, but I don't like how it looks, so I scan it in first, just kind of as a backup plan. So, one tip. Again, more practice. This one is just like one color of mermaid marker and pen. I used to think I needed 427 supplies to create anything, and now I'm good with like 4, or even 2 sometimes. And this, I did this little Frida. There was a lesson by Jane about this kind of watercolory silhouette, so I kind of took that somewhere else. Here. This is my first self-portrait, and I have her. Some of these are in prints, the ones that weren't lessons. I have in my Etsy shop. This is like pastels and charcoal and graphite and acrylic. Same here. I like this one way better, and it actually looks like me and my sister. This one I started at an art fair a couple of months ago, and with drawing, I just kind of sketched these ladies, and they look like a 3-headed monster, and then a couple of weeks ago, I went back in and kind of defined their bodies there and added in the color. I'm loving these Sakura, I think it is one of the Japanese names. Sakura Golds watercolors that come in those little round pans, I think. My friend Victory let me try some when I met her, and I love them. So you can make like a rose gold. That's just fabulous. Okay. This was another Jane lesson. It's from online. Just the girl. And then I love playing with her mermaid markers. So that's the mermaid markers and the platinum carbon epic pen right there. This was a fun one. I wanted to practice profiles because I sucked at profiles. Still kind of do. I mean, this one looks a little wonky. Like a fishy little mermaid. So I started just drawing, and you could see in the background the other profiles that are kind of hidden by the ink. So I was practicing profiles, and I picked my favorite ones and then used a pen over the colored pencil and kind of highlighted them. And then this was when I first got my Distress Oxide inks. I have the inks, and I wasn't going to buy them. They were on sale, the oxides. Oh my God, I want to throw away all my regular inks. So I put it down, and it comes out very kind of creamy, pastel-y. So I put it down, and then I added water, and it's like magically luscious. See? It's beautiful for backgrounds. So it's fun. And then here's where I use that same oxides to make her look like she's underwater. So I did her in watercolors. It's inspired by a Jane piece. It's different, but inspired by it. And so I did watercolors, and then with the oxide inks, I matched the colors as well as I could, and then I added water. So she looks like she's underwater. And I know I have prints of her too. And then over here, this is a warm-up from a Jane lesson. This is a very funny one. You can expect a blog post about this soon. My husband wanted a tattoo for our son Fox, so he asked me to do one of my inky animals, which I have most of them in another book. So I did these foxes over here using just the Lobster mermaid marker, the Pirate's Gold mermaid marker, and the Incredible pen. And so I did these foxes and let him choose, and he chose this one right here. And he has a tattoo on his arm of this exact fox. And the tattoo artist from Hot Rod Betty's in Oregon, Anne, awesome that she is. She also does my tattoos. She did it awesomely. And I'm going to have a blog post about that or something about that soon. And then this, I just drew this girl, scribbled her in when I was waiting at somewhere, and then added these colors afterward to kind of go with the foxes to kind of make it match. Sometimes I'll do one side and then come back and add something on the other later. Okay, this one is just, I needed to journal, and I don't journal enough. I'm starting to add it more and more. But I had wiped this muted turquoise Liquitex ink. I had extra on my palette. So I kind of wiped it on this page, and then really loved it and did some journaling, and then added more of that ink and drew this girl in with, I remember a couple different black pens, Japanese pens and things. So I kind of copied so this is why I do profile practice. So I looked at my profiles. They're missing now. I looked at my profiles. I liked her the best, and then I kind of traced my own work there. Okay, here's another example of just 20 minutes ago I added this journaling because I needed to say something that I didn't necessarily want anyone to read, so threw it in there. More collaging like Matisse over here, and I just kind of put smeared ink over it and let it drip. And this is just a practice girl, kind of in the Jane style, more so than my own style, but acrylics, watercolor, pen, charcoal, pastel, I think, colored pencil. This is a weird one. I think I like her. She's like a toad princess, like what Princess and the Frog would really look like. I had a girl going. I had these mushrooms here, and I decided she's going to be weird in a great way. And then more journaling. Hair is a great place to journal, FYI. Okay, and this is all coming apart. I have a funky page I don't need to show the world. Straight lesson. This is a Jane Davenport lesson from American Crafts. I need to do it all in my own style now. This was following lesson. So when I follow a lesson, if I really don't know the techniques or really want to try that exact lesson, I'll do it first, and then I'll usually come back to it later in my own style. So this is the Jane version. Here's me kind of expanding on that James Burke mustache dude from before. With a little bit of my own twist, not showing the eyes like I usually am all about. And then again, 20 minutes ago, I just came in with a white Jelly Roll pen and did these little Alice in Wonderland doodles because I was bored waiting for my husband to set up the equipment. And this is all acrylics in the background. This girl is, I called her Lady of the Lake. She is the July Art Snacks Challenge using just a few supplies. I forget right now. It was a pen, Japanese pen, and colored pencils and stuff in the box. That was a fun box. This, I was learning about collage in the Supplies Me class by Jane Davenport, and I've done this before though. From her, I just got some ideas of how to layer, and then so I did that, and then I drew out my little silhouettes and painted around, and there's like tons of vintage papers and textures. Under here you can kind of see all the yummy texture. I love texture. I don't use it as much as I used to now that I'm all about inks. But every once in a while it's fun. This one's not done. I don't think I posted this online yet. Last month we lost our corgi, Yoda. He was 14. We had him his whole life, and so I was sad and depressed and started drawing him. So I'll finish him later. This is a girl I did camping, and it was the first time I've ever done the burnishing technique with colored pencils. I learned it in Supplies Me. And then I added this later to make her look complete. And I don't worry so much about messy and stuff. As long as I scan it in right when I finish it, it's fine. More practice with pen, and these are distress stains. This is, I looked at, it's hiding right now, so I can't pull it out, but I have this old book that Jane had gotten, a vintage book, and I thought it was awesome. Paris sketchbook from the 50s. I love anything about France. And there was this woman in there, and I had to have her in my journal, so I drew her in. And then added, these are little words from a vintage book page, so I just cut them out and put them in. This is colored pencil where I use solvents to, whatever the word is, spread it around. And then watercolor. More practice over here. This is Shannara, and I looked at a photograph of a real woman because I wanted to do a hijab because I think they're really pretty, and I didn't know how to get the fabric just right. So I looked at a real photo and then came out with my whimsical version, which I really am digging. Muted turquoise and then just pens. I don't like this one. Blah. I know we're not supposed to talk bad about our art, but I just don't like how it came out. So cover that. This is a direct drawing of Jane Davenport's that I looked at and did for the face and everything, and then I kind of went wild with the hair on my own. Sometimes I just think it's so cute and I want to copy something in my journal and learn from it, so I did. I've been doing the hair like this ever since, and then I added words because I love words in the hair. It's supposed to be kind of like Alice, so it has an Alice quote, and then I was practicing. Journals are a great place to practice. I was practicing gold leafing. Another interesting one. So journaling and blah, 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 marked off ink from another page. This one, I have a lot of Copic markers, and I bought them a long time ago, and I try to use them, and it's so hard. I never get it. Like, I'll watch the videos from Olga, and she's like, stroke, stroke, stroke. Oh, it's a beautiful blended skin tone, and it looks perfect. And I do, and it looks like a 8-year-old scribbled down with Crayola markers. But this is on marker paper, and then I glued it onto the journal page and then added tons of inks and watercolor. One day I will figure it out, but I don't have the natural talent at those as Olga does. Okay. This is Zephyr and Viola, and they were practiced for my show. I just had the Raw Artist show in Portland. Just a variety of supplies, inks, and watercolors. And this one has collage, as you can see. So just practice. I really like them. More practice with watercolor, but that watercolor silhouette first. That's so fun because you could paint it in first and another day draw a character on top with a pen. And this one is, I looked at a picture of a statue, like a copper statue of a woman, and I love the yoga position. I just thought, namaste, when I saw her. So I glued down a dictionary page and then drew her and then used black gesso to kind of single her out, and then pastels on top. So, and this is was Natalie Portman from Black Swan, I think, and I love her, and I love her face, so pretty face. So I used charcoals and pastels and pencil, I think is it, and I sprayed it with a fixative. Always do that when you use pastels. And this is just acrylic paint. And then like a week later, I thought, this spot is perfect for a girl. So I just drew her in with a Epic Carpet pen, and then I was listening to a song, forget the band. You can be addicted to a certain kind of sadness. It's like the song that sounds like the Angry Birds theme song. I forget what it's called, but there's a quote or lyrics. Okay, this was more Distress Oxides, and then I drew in these little sisters, again modeled after a statue that I saw. And then this dear creature over here is a lesson from Supplies Me that was really fun on how to paint with distress inks, which I've had forever. And so it was fun to learn that. This was practice in texture. You could hear it. This is golden cold press watercolor groundish, I think. And so this is distress stains, again, practicing painting with them. My little Snow White right over top. Now here. It's neat because it'll bleed in ways you would never expect. So it's you don't want to do it if you want a very exact result, but it's really fun if you don't care. Again, my hubby is getting a new tattoo, and he may get an octopus for daughter Jade. He's not sure, so I was practicing with a couple of mermaid markers and the Incredible pen. So that's the octopus. And then I was in an octopus kind of mood here, so now we have a girl with octopus hair. And yeah, I spelled the word wrong. That's why I scanned them in first. And last page, I know I've been talking like crazy, my mouth hurts. Last page, again, just cast off from a stencil. Always wipe. Always have a journal that you can wipe your palette paint on, because it's amazing to come back to it later and you don't have a white page. So then I drew her in with a pen, and obviously added with a brush pen, a quote there. And then more practice, I looked at a photo of this little girl with war paint, and this is my version of that. I love using real photos of people and then making them look like my style, which sometimes you can't even tell the photo, and it's just a lot of fun. Whew. I need to breathe now. So that is my large Jane journal, and I'm in a new one now. I'll just give you a little sneaky peeky for fun. So like I said, I have a cover on it. I'm not going to say anything about these because I'll do that in a later video, but here's a little. I will tell you, I did learn to spread them out and not go front to back, so it's sporadic here. So a little sneaky peek. And that's the one I finished this month. So that's it. Thanks, guys. If you like what you see, I hope you subscribe. I just got some new video equipment. So I'm going to be trying to put up at least one video a day for a while. So I know I haven't posted anything in a while, but I will be doing flip throughs and then a lot of technique videos and product comparisons. So thanks for joining me, and I hope you'll subscribe.